This is probably the safest way of doing it. There we go. So I got it kind of backed off now. I think most of the spring tension is gone now, yeah. So you can see I go back and it springs back the other way. That means the spring tension's gone. So there, that's how you remove or release the spring tension on a watch. Okay, I've now removed the ratchet for the mainspring here, and I've removed the winding mechanism here, the gear here for the mainspring. This, and then I'm going to remove this gear here. Make sure I know that which way it goes in. Just kind of work it off a bit. And the way you do that is you undo these two screws right here. One is here. That. And you basically see when it clicks once, that means it's out of the thread. And I'm lining the parts kind of from left to right in 2 rows. That way I can get access to it a little later on and remember how it goes back together. This watch here was not working when I received it. The spring had been overwound, and that is not a good thing. There's a little notch, and you can just snap the cover right out with that notch. So the notch was on the left side, and you can remember where the indentations are on the sides here, and then for the top for the winding stem. And then there it goes. It's fallen out nicely. Just take these screws out and remove the plate. Sometimes these screws get really stiff because they've been in there. If this watch hasn't been serviced much, this is almost a 100-year-old watch. So if it hasn't been serviced much, these screws could have been in here for the whole 100-year period, which would be kind of a bummer. But some people would just buy these watches and run them until they die. And whoever had this watch last wound it up, wouldn't work. They wound it some more, still wouldn't work, wound it some more, and they got to the very end of winding, to the point where they couldn't be wound anymore, and then so the mainspring was providing so much tension on the gears, the darn thing wouldn't run. So there's the screw there, and then I'm gonna map this to the plate. Now sometimes in these watches there's grooves in the side for removing the plate, and sometimes you're just gonna pop it off. I can see the barrel from here, which is nice. I'm hoping the click isn't going to be an issue. Oh, there we go. See, I'm prying it up just a bit with my screwdriver, and there we go. So we've lifted it off like that, and now we have access to the barrel. I lay the parts over on the side here. I'll show you that later. And if I were just to remove the barrel and oil it and take it apart and check out the mainspring and all that, that's all I need to do is take the barrel out, and you can actually slip the barrel out usually without taking out any of the center pinions or anything like that. But I might be in trouble here because I don't know if I can get the barrel out on its own. Yeah, there we go. So that's the watch barrel. I typically try not to touch the parts with my hands, but this time I'm doing it. So, and then what I'm going to do here is crack the barrel open, right, just to see what condition this is in. And as you can see, this is a T-type spring in there, because I can see the end of the spring here. And there's the barrel arbor and the barrel, and it all seems to be in place nicely. And this barrel has a cap on it, and that's a compression fit on the cap. So I think I want to have a little peek at the barrel and see what it's like, because I know I'll clean this anyway. So if I just do this, I'll show you what I'm up to here. I'll move the movement over for a second, and you just stick a small screwdriver in here, or tweezers. I think I may have to use tweezers because the screwdriver won't fit. Maybe tweezers won't fit either. And all you have to do is kind of nudge it upward like that, and then the barrel, the cap will come off. There we go. So then you just go around the edge of it like that, and then the cap is essentially off right now. I'm just stupid and didn't take it off. So the arbor is attached in the inside here, so if I can wind it the opposite way, there we go, then you're able to take the spring stuff right here, and what I'll do is I'm just going to put a very small dab of this stuff on the spring. I think it needs some tender loving care. Now, when you put this back, there's a couple of notches here. One of the notches has to be lined up perfectly with the T part of the end of the spring. Line it up like that with the T part, and then you're able to use your tweezers to compress it on all sides. And there we go, and it is. So then that's good. And I think we're ready to rock and roll. And if you look carefully, you can see the little T end sticking out right there. Let's see if that'll focus. I'm not sure. Yeah, there we go. The T end sticking out of the cap for the barrel right there. So what I got to do here, and this is one of the trickier parts here, is taking off this bridge here. This screw was already loose. That's interesting. Maybe it's broken. And there I'm able to remove this screw here. This screw's riding up nicely. The other screw didn't. So I'm kind of worried that this other screw is broken, which wouldn't be good. Again, oh, there we go. Got to pry it just a bit on the edges. There we go. So that's basically out now, and then I can lift it off, and the tough part of all this is getting those wheels lined again. So there we go, and I think I will clean this because it looks a bit, there's one jewel there and the other two aren't jeweled. That's what it looks like anyway. If I edge that one out nicely, just be very gentle. There we go. There's one there. I'm really not looking forward to taking the face off the watch. It's a bit of a pain. Now this here is the bottom. This is the second hand, so this isn't going to come out without me taking off the hands. And this may come out, but it also might be really hard to get back in again. Don't know. I'm going to slide it out here. It's the escapement here. Looks like it's in pretty good condition. There. I'm going to leave these wheels, the hour wheel and the second wheel, hour minute second wheel in there. Here's the situation we're in now. So I'm going to take out the balance cock here. If I was a good boy, I just loosened the screw here. If I was a good boy, I'd be basically disassembling everything here, but I guess I'm not a good boy. The only way to do this is to oil it and take it apart just a bit. And it's like I said, I'll do a full cleaning on it at some other point. There's the pallet fork. Now I could take the pallet fork out too, which is probably recommended. I got it right there, and I just have to unscrew this screw here to do that. There we go. And I grab that screw, put it on the side here. It just takes time to get used to doing all this and to basically be very careful as you do it. And it just takes some experience. You don't get much experience with doing anything a lot. So I can pry this little arm right here open. And I find that these pocket watches are real easy to disassemble compared to watches. Because the pocket watch. So you take out the pallet fork. So this is what it looks like right now. And I take out the pallet fork like that. Just make sure the pinion on the bottom is fatter than the one on the top. Okay, I'm pretty anal retentive, I guess, so I decided to take the hands off the watch because I really want to get the complete watch cleaned. So it kind of doesn't make any sense for me to go any further and then not clean the watch. It's kind of almost completely disassembled right now. So I've got these new hand removing tools here. I got them from AliExpress. I'm not sure whether they're good, bad, or other, but I'm just going to pry them off like this. There we go. That actually worked really well. And then very carefully lift the hands up. And I'm going to put them way up top on my mat. One thing you don't want to do is when you're drying stuff off, once you've cleaned it and you've got your little ball and you're squeezing it, don't do it over the parts, because what tends to happen is the parts will blow all over the place. And then you're in a worse situation than you were in the first place, because you're basically, your parts are, little O-rings and stuff will fly around. So I'm just trying to figure out how to get this part out. I don't really want to use or do this without having the paper down, but I may have to. I think I'll just rip the paper in two, put it on both sides of this, and then see if I can get those tools underneath this. Hopefully I can. If I can't, I'll do it for plan B, whatever that is. First I'll figure out what plan B is, and then I'll conduct plan B. Here we go. So that came off. I did not want to scratch the face of the watch. I can put that down with the other hands. Alright. So now I have the hands off the watch, and you'll see that the movement, basically, to get the face off the watch, there's a couple of screws on the side, and you just need to unscrew those screws on the side. They're very small, and the face itself is a there's two pegs that are on the edge of the face. There we go. That's one side. And I'm going to leave these screws with the face of the watch so I can remember where the heck they went. But here we go. So that is the movement on this side, and you can see the corrosion on the inside here. It needs to be dealt with. And this center part's soldered in, so you can't put any pressure on that or you're going to get yourself in trouble. So that's what it looks like right now. And that's the face of the movement. This wheel comes out, no issue now.